Fair enough. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Although
No,
Among Us
definitely
has
agree to that.
completely died now.
I
Like,
was gonna say that it has
yeah,
dropped
it's
off. It's
completely dropped
so
off.
weird. Um, I think it had its time.
Mm,
It's still playable, but they kept it. They
yeah.
they longed out the DLC stuff for so long
Mm,
that people just got bored of doing the same map. Like, let's be honest, no one did the other map, did they? Like, you kept to the spaceship. The original, I think, for a lot of time, the original spaceship. At least we did
yeah.
when I played it with my friends, and it does get boring.
Mm,
You can only beat out the horse out of it, for so long before it's sort of like what's going on. You know that you even start to work out the way people play,
yeah.
and like,
You
oh,
learn their
he's being.
styles, and it's like,
You
oh,
learn the
okay,
strat. You learn the
he's not in
strats.
his normal spot. He's not doing his normal route. Something's
Yeah,
up.
that's it.
Mm,
Yeah, exactly. So you start to work out.
yeah.
Um, but some of the funnest times for sure. But it definitely
Mm.
had its time.
I think its main
Um,
problem was that it got this massive surge of hype, but because obviously it's like a tiny indie studio, they couldn't capitalize on it.
hmm,
Because it's like
no,
when you're in that
exactly.
situation, you're faced with a tough choice. Obviously, you get like a massive income because like millions upon millions of people suddenly are buying your game, and
Yeah,
so you're faced with this almost ultimatum. It's like expand to handle the growth, or burnout, like or you
yeah.
just like
Oh
flat
yeah.
out disappear. And they tried to do
Hmm.
both. Like, to their credit, Inner Sloth, like, they did whatever they could. Like, they were hiring more people on the team, they were trying to fix all of the game's problems
They gave
literally
it a
as
good
soon as
go.
they could. It's like they added an account
Yeah.
system, they added obviously the new maps, like other stuff like that. And it's a case of, it was so explosive, and you combine the fact with like people's sort of, I don't want to say attention spans, but like the limelight on the game, or just in general on things like Twitch, it's like it switches
Hmm.
around so fast. I mean, it's like you had
Yeah.
Fortnite, you had Minecraft, you had Among Us, you had all of the rest of those kinds of games. And I mean,
Hmm.
like, it's like you remember when PUBG absolutely exploded, and then
Yeah. They
the fa-
started the battle royale stuff
yeah, and the
in a
fact that you
way.
took a second to remember that says it all, really.
Yeah.
Like that's fully
Yeah.
indicative. It's like either you
It's true.
step up to the plate in a big way, completely overhaul everything to sort of meet this demand, and even then it's not guaranteed.
Hmm.
So do you take that gamble,
Yeah.
or do you work within your remit and
Yeah.
risk losing like everything?
Yeah. No, it's true. And do you think though, saying like sort of about Among Us dipping, do you think it coming to console will like fluctuate it again, or do you think it's going to sort of stay about the same?
Not in
Because
the
it is
same
going to come
way.
to console,
Not in the
not in the
same
same
way.
way.
It's like
Fair
it'll
enough.
it'll get a boost, sure, because obviously more
Yeah.
platforms is always a good thing,
Yeah.
but it won't see the kind of blowout success that it got initially. Like, it won't suddenly have a
Mm.
resurgence. It'll just be,
No.
oh, it's available on another platform now.
Let's give it
And
another go again.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's give it another go, or all my mates on Xbox can join me now. And so you get a little bit more mileage out of it already, but
Hmm.
it's not going to get
It's
a
still,
massive influx of new
in a way
players.
like the damage is done. Like people have played
Mm,
absolute crap
yeah.
out of it, and now it's sort of
Mm. People want to
it's
move
not
on
as
to the
fun
next
as it
thing.
used to be.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
shame.
it's like that's the harsh reality of it, though. It's the
Mm.
like
Then,
people
to
had
be
their
fair though,
time with it, they
it's
enjoyed
like
it, they got their success from it as well. Not to mention, imagine the amount of
yeah,
money they would
true.
have made. But
100%.
yeah, it's neither
I think
here nor there.
it's taken the Five Nights at Freddy approach. I think in its own
Mm.
way. You've got all this fan stuff. Like right, I don't know if you can see. Ooh, working out the camera.
You know?
Basically, that book there, right there, is a Five Nights at Freddy's book that I've been reading. The sort of canon based on that,
The
and that
law.
all started from that lore. It is. It's just sort of like a story based upon the
Mm.
idea of written by Cothram, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
and he created this little indie game. And now you've got all these spin-off games that have nothing to do with Five Nights at Freddy's, but it's like its own thing, and that's exactly
Yeah.
the same thing that's happened with Among Us. Like, there's these horror spin-offs where I think Markiplier played one way. It was literally like you do all the tasks in first person, but there's the imposters just chasing you down, and just
Yeah.
jump scares and stuff like
It's
that.
like there was
It's
fan
sick.
games,
It's
there was
just so nice
mods,
to
all
see.
sorts. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I can definitely see it taking that approach where people create their own versions of like Among Us. Like, how crazy would it be? Because obviously, when you think of Among Us, you think, well, for me, when I thought of Among Us, I think exactly what it's based on, which has to be no doubt The Thing, like the
Yeah.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Hmm.
Um, like how crazy it would be if somewhere down the line someone makes like a sort of very similar way it plays, but you've got like the characters or something from The Thing and stuff, and it's all very based around that sort of vibe because that's where it started from, or something like that.
Mm.
It just, the creative control that Among Us has provided with the concept of the idea, I think is great.
Yeah.
And I could definitely see it taking a Five Nights at Freddy's route for sure.
I mean,
Without
like,
a doubt.
mods and things like that, they always extend the life of a game. Like, even when the developers
Exactly.
sort of long since abandoned it, it's often like the mod projects. I mean, this isn't quite comparable, but Need for Speed, latest Need for Speed, Heat. It's like the game.
Okay.
The BAME, yes. The game essentially got
Yes.
2 DLC cars, and then they got abandoned. Like, the game got completely abandoned because EA pulled the plug on the studio.
That's quite. Isn't quite a recent one, Heat?
Yeah, Heat was recent. That's the latest
I think
installment. And it was actually one of the best in the modern era.
Wow.
But
And they hyped it a lot though.
yeah, they hyped it a lot, and then it got one DLC, which was just 2 cars, and then EA pulled the plug on the studio. And
That's such a shame.
but it's been kept alive thanks to the community and the modding efforts. So it's like you got the Heat Plus mod, which is like kind of like Vanilla Plus to Minecraft, if that makes sense. Then you've got Unite, which is like a complete visual overhaul. You've got handling mods. You've got CMI swaps, which is like crazy body kits and stuff. It's all sorts. It's insane.
It's amazing.
The community's
That
been
is
able to
amazing. Is that PC only though? As
Yeah,
well?
that's the only caveat. It's like PC only. But
It's the same.
That's part of the course with mods, though.
Yeah, yeah. That's the same with the Simpsons Hit and Run. I think, as we previously mentioned, possibly.
Yeah.
But that was it like donut mods? Like the community behind that, man. Beautiful stuff. Like you've kept that game going. Not to mention
the multiplayer. It's like the multiplayer world still sees play, which is insane to me.
That's it. And it's just the community. It always keep the game alive. Like you had that Left 4 Dead game as well. Where I'm not even talking about the spiritual successor. That was a hyper focus last year's brilliant of last week's episode or a couple of weeks, but like Left 4 Dead had a DLC release that was entirely community built.
Yeah, The Last Stand.
The Last Stand. The community built that.
That was brilliant.
But it got an official release from Valve.
I think that's the way to do it. If you want to add features,
man.
I think that's like the perfect way to do it, because Bethesda tried their hand with like paid mods and nonsense like that, and obviously that didn't go down well. But I think if you want the community directly involved with the development of the game, that's like the perfect way to do it. It's like have the community curated 100%. Contact, like have the content, have the contact in the community, and have the humility almost to say it's like, hey, random person in the community, we really love your work. Can we incorporate this into vanilla?
That's it. But that's the thing, like the community know it best.
And like any community member in it for the right reasons will like jump at the chance to work officially.
100%.
That's all they want, because at the end of the day, most mods stem from what they want to see in the game.
Community idea.
That's literally the idea of mods.
Exactly. It modifies it. It makes it better or worse, but still, 9 times out of 10 it makes it better.
Troll mods are so much better.
They are something like they do exist, and it's very bizarre. But definitely, like you say, though, the community makes it best. That's it. As simple as that, I think.
It's like how this podcast is a troll spin-off mod to every tech podcast that's on YouTube. Anyway,